If you're in the world of SEO, you've probably felt it, right? The ground shifting under your feet. It feels like AI has just changed everything, and the old rules, well, they just don't seem to apply anymore. So in this explainer, we're going to break down what's really going on. We're going to map out a brand new playbook, one that'll help you not just survive, but actually thrive in this new era.
And if you've been feeling that uncertainty, trust me, you are not alone. This quote right here, it's from a seasoned expert who's generated hundreds of millions of visitors from Google. It just perfectly captures the moment we're all in. The old certainties are gone, and it's time to rethink our entire approach.
For years, the formula was so simple, wasn't it? Find a keyword, optimize your content around it, go get some backlinks, and just watch the traffic roll in. But that old playbook, yeah, it's dead. Trying to follow those same steps today is just a recipe for frustration.
So it's absolutely crucial to understand why it's dead, what broke the system, and, more importantly, why is this change actually a good thing for those of us who are willing to adapt? Let's get into it.
The number one reason for all this chaos? AI. It made it incredibly easy to just mass produce tons of cheap, low-quality content, and it just flooded the internet. So what happened? Google had to crack down, and crack down hard, with these huge algorithm updates. And the unfortunate side effect is that even some perfectly legitimate, good sites have been caught in the crossfire. But does this mean SEO is over? Not even close. To put things in perspective, let's just look at one number, 5 trillion. That's roughly how many searches Google handles every single year. The scale is it's immense, and it shows you exactly where people are still going to find answers. And what's really fascinating is when you compare this to the new AI tools. Even with the wild rise of ChatGPT, the total number of conversations on there is just a tiny fraction of what happens on Google. We're talking about 100 times smaller. This just proves that search is still, without a doubt, the king of online discovery.
So the big takeaway here isn't that SEO is dead. It's far from it. It's just evolved. The game hasn't ended, but the rules have fundamentally changed. To win now, you need a completely new mindset and a totally different strategy.
And this brings us to the single biggest shift you need to make. It's all about moving your focus away from chasing algorithms and onto what really, truly matters: people. This is what we call the user-obsessed mindset. The old way of writing for SEO was so mechanical, right? It was about stuffing in keywords, hitting subtopics from some checklist. It became so formulaic that AI can now copy it perfectly. And that's exactly why the new way has to be about writing for people, creating content that is genuinely useful, totally relevant, and actually builds real trust with your audience.
This quote just nails the core principle. I mean, at the end of the day, you can get all the rankings in the world, but if the people who land on your page aren't getting what they need, it's all for nothing. Your real customer is a person, not a search algorithm.
So what does this actually look like? Let's take an example. Say you want to rank for how to start a YouTube channel. The old way asks, what keywords do I need? But the new, user-obsessed way asks deeper questions. Who is this person? Are they a total beginner? Why do they even want a channel? Is this for a hobby, or are they trying to build a business? And based on that, what format would help them the most? A simple checklist, or a super detailed step-by-step tutorial? See the difference? That's user obsession.
And the payoff for being this obsessed? It's huge. When you truly focus on the user, you naturally get higher rankings because you're actually satisfying what they're looking for. That leads to way more engagement, it builds lasting trust, and that is what ultimately drives more conversions. It's all connected.
Now, this doesn't mean you should just ignore AI. No, far from it. The key is to completely reframe its role. AI isn't your replacement, it's your assistant, and you are the operator who needs to be in the driver's seat. The problem with most of that generic AI content out there isn't really the tool itself, it's the person using it. These tools are incredible for brainstorming and analysis, but they're only as good as the instructions you give them. It's that old saying, garbage in, garbage out. This chart really highlights the difference between a novice and a pro. A novice, Joe Schmo, might know nothing about SEO and just lets the AI take the wheel. The result? Generic, robotic content. But a pro, Sam O, deeply understands the strategy, does their own research, and then uses AI as a powerful tool to execute that vision. The outcome is strategic, high-quality content that actually works. So the best way to think about AI's role is this. It's your assistant. An incredibly powerful one for sure, but it needs a skilled human operator with real experience to get great results. You are the strategist. AI is just the tool.
Okay, finally, let's talk about the future. Once you get that traffic coming in, it's so easy to get complacent. But relying on a single source of traffic is incredibly dangerous. You have to future-proof your strategy.
And this is the harsh reality of relying on any single platform. We've all seen it happen. A Google update hits, and years of hard work can just disappear in an instant. That traffic is a privilege, not a right, and it is always, always unpredictable. The solution is simple in concept, but it's critical in execution: diversify. And here is the absolute best part. The skills you develop learning SEO for Google, things like keyword research, understanding search intent, link building, they're not just for Google, they are so transferable. Just think about it for a second. YouTube is the world's second largest search engine. People search for how-to videos there every second of every day. Pinterest is a visual search engine for ideas. Reddit and Quora are where people search for community answers. Even eBay is a search engine for products. They all run on the exact same core principle: connecting a person's query to the most relevant result.
This means your hard work learning Google SEO is never wasted. In fact, it gives you a massive head start when you decide to expand to other platforms. You already have the foundational skill set to succeed almost anywhere that has a search bar.
So if there's one single idea to take away from all of this, it's this. In a world where AI can create endless amounts of mediocre content, just being good enough doesn't cut it anymore. The new standard is so much higher. You need to be worth finding. So I'll leave you with this question. As you move forward, as you build your strategy and create your content, constantly ask yourself, in a world that is saturated with AI noise, what makes you worth finding?